up? It's Jan, back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my April wrap up. Handy dandy Stitch mug on the ready. I don't know why I say things, honestly. I have a live show in about an hour, so we're gonna make this as quick as possible. Y'all are new here. I do all my wrap-ups as the reread, rewrite, burn tag. Started this in January of 2021, and I haven't looked back. So Stitch Mug has all the books that I read on little slips of paper, and then I pick 3 at a time, and then it's basically fuck, marry, kill, but make it bookish. I do start my wrap-ups with stats. I read 15 books in April. I almost said January, what the fuck. I read 3,989 pages. I keep track of how many times Chicago appears in books I read because it haunts me. I'm sure a lot of you know this by now, but I grew up like 30 minutes from Chicago, and I swear the city haunts me, and everyone knows I hate it, besides the music scene and Cubs. Out of the 15 books, Chicago appeared in 4 of them, so that's not too bad actually. It's been happening less and less. You know what's been happening more and more though? Is seeing the word flesh in every single one of my books. I'm pretty sure it started with A Certain Hunger is when I started noticing it. Every single one since then said flesh, one way or another. Oh, I forgot to grab the books in this wrap up. I want to hold them up, even though my nails are gross, but I'll pull them as I go. Number of BIPOC authors I read last month is also 4, which is not the greatest, but it's okay because this month I am reading a ton of BIPOC authors because it is AAPI Heritage Month. The best book I read last month, Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. This book made me cry. This book was 5 stars. This is a tiny ass book, but it has hella tabs. It even has deckled edges, and I hate deckled edges, but this book is everything. It is told in second person. It's just a quiet little story about these 2 people who basically fall in love, and it just like narrates love in such a unique way. There are some parts that are redundant because it's supposed to be like, you know, poetic writing, and poems are usually like the classic poems are like kind of repetitive in a sense. You definitely get that from this writing. So short, it packs a punch, you know. There are so many elements to it that make it such a heartwarming story, but also heart-wrenching. I annotated all over this. Like, I've highlighted so much, I wrote so much. It literally like hurt my heart and then mended it all back together just to hurt it again, and it's just everything. I don't even know what my color system was. I gotta put the little sticky note with a key on there. Absolutely love this. Highly recommend. I'll put the vlog where I read a couple quotes from it linked down below. I also read Gallant by V.E. Schwab in that vlog. The worst book of last month I read on audio. I've been really bad at reading audiobooks this year. I just haven't been in the mood. I've been loving the physical book. I mean, I always prefer physical books, but something about this year, like I've only read, I think this is my 3rd audiobook this year out of like the 66 that I've read so far, and that's just like kind of insane to me. Read this one on audio for Gabby from Gabby Reads Book Club, 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. I'm happy to know that I wasn't the only one who thought this book was absolute trash. Just read Agatha Christie's and Then There Were None. Skip this book, okay? There are too many characters trying to do too many things, but also it's too close to Agatha Christie, but it's doing it so much worse. It was just so badly executed. The mystery aspect was, it took too long for them to even begin an investigation. I don't even remember. There were these 9 people on this random list of names getting taken out one by one, and they don't even know each other. I thought they were all gonna come to... That might be a spoiler, but I just expected something different to happen at the end, and I didn't even care about the twist or who the killer was. I don't even remember the killer's motive. Like, these people were all from like different parts of the country or whatever. Some of the characters were just hyper focused on this one name for a long period of time, and then it was like briefly mentioning this other person, and I'm just like so confused the whole time. So Gabby, I went to the live show for just a little bit. There were 4 people on there, and like all 4 of them hated this book. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one, but that was my worst book of the month. Books left on my April TBR, 4 out of 10. That's actually pretty good. I read 6 of them on my TBR. I'm getting slowly but surely better at sticking to my TBR. Maybe not sticking, but reading more books off of my TBR. How about that? I did not read a classic. That goal is dead. That goal's been dead since January. Buzzwordathon, this is the first month that I didn't accomplish the buzzword goal. I did not read a book that was at least 500 pages or more. I did read a nonfiction book. I've been really good at keeping up with this goal. I read Cultish by Amanda Montell. I got this from the library, so I don't have it to hold up, but here it is. Heard about this book from Noelle, from Noelle 7 Pages. I freaking love her. Subscribe to her if you haven't already. Like, this book is part of her brand. I mean, rightfully so, because it's a great book. It's very informative. I gave it 4 stars. Oh, needless to say, I gave 9 Lives 1 star. That was my worst book of the year. Not just the month, but the year. But anyway, Cultish, I gave 4 stars. Written by a linguist. So it talks about the language of fanaticism. It talks about what makes a cult and why is it classified a cult. Why language used within a group alone could make said group a cult, if that makes sense. It talks about like the connotations that come with the word cult. Everyday groups that you don't think of as cults, how they can be categorized as cults because of the language they use and because of the actions they take and how they act and interact with each other. So like, for example, SoulCycle. BookTube is honestly a cult. The way we have our own like terminologies, like DNF, TBR, like all that shit. Yeah, we're a cult. So hello. Welcome. It was very eye-opening. I will never look at things the same. I would recommend that book for sure if you're looking for a good nonfiction. You'll learn a little something. Moving on to the actual wrap-up. That was pretty quick. Pat on my back. So we're gonna do 5 full rounds since I did read 15 books, you know, do the math. First pick is Time is a Mother by Ocean Vuong. I got that one from the library. It's his newest poetry collection. A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin. Here it is. Oh, I grabbed 4. Fuck. And then All the Lies by S.T. Abbey. These were all very mediocre. All the Lies I would reread. This was the 4th book in the Mindfuck series. I would reread that whole series, no doubt about it. I probably wouldn't reread it anytime soon because I just finished it last month, but really like that 4th one. I read them so close together that they're all like mixed up in my brain. I don't know what happened in which book, but I can tell you I really like the 4th one, the 5th one, and the 1st one. This is the 4th one and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And did I write any notes about it? Oh, this is the one with the haunted house scene. And then there's this dude named Kyle and his scene was super fucked up. Oh, this was my favorite of the 5. Okay, so there's that. If you know, you know. I can't really like, so the Mindfuck series is a series I read solely on my Kindle. They have like a physical bind up version that's pretty dope, but it's all on Kindle Unlimited if y'all are interested. Don't mind the covers. They're ugly, they're hideous, they're atrocious. I hate them all. The story though is that there's a female serial killer and she starts dating the FBI agent that happens to be working on her case, but they don't know that at first, and then she finds out, but then he doesn't find out. It's a lot. It gets steamy at times. It gets so fucked up at times. Trigger warnings for rape and a lot of other things, but rape is a huge element, aspect, plot point in this series. Tread with caution and look up trigger warnings for these for sure, because it does get really gory. It gets really messed up in so many ways. I would reread that. I would rewrite A Magic Steeped in Poison, only because I wouldn't rewrite poetry about Ocean Vuong's dead mom, okay? Because that's just like rude and inconsiderate, right? But A Magic Steeped in Poison, I would burn otherwise, is what I'm trying to say. I would rewrite this. Honestly, the easy answer would be to just omit the romance in this, because the romance was awful. It was a YA romance. This was my book club pick for April, and I gave it 2 stars. I'll link my dedicated reading vlog down below. It was also the reading vlog where I took a week-long break from socializing just to like get my shit together, and y'all seem to like that, so check that out if you haven't already. And I do read this book in between all of that getting my shit togethering. So there's this magic tea competition that this girl enters because she accidentally poisons her mom and her sister with this tea that she makes, and she's really good at making tea, and there are like lies and betrayal and stuff, but then there's this like random romance that was very unnecessary, so I had to rewrite it by just omitting that romance altogether. And then Time is a Mother, I know I said I wouldn't rewrite it, but I would burn it in this case because it was a poetry collection. Yeah, there are so many out there. This one didn't really resonate with me as much as other poetry I've read. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I give this book 3 stars. Like I said, it's not the author's fault at all. It's not the book's fault at all. The writing was stunning. It was just me simply not being able to relate, and obviously that's on me, and I do rate a lot, if not all, of my books solely based on enjoyment. Everyone does it differently. Some books I do rate more objectively, but mostly it'd be enjoyment just because like it's really not that deep, y'all. Moving on. So we have Normal People by Sally Rooney. Let me go get her. Normal People by Sally Rooney. Then we have Night Wolf by Karina Halley. I think Sarah and I established that it is Halley, not Hale, or any other way that people say her last name. And then the last one, Cultish. Okay, I would reread Normal People. This was a reread for me in April. Gave it 5 stars. Promoted it to one of my all-time favorite books, actually. Love the show. The show honestly made me fall in love with the book even more. I first tried to read it through my phone as an ebook. Didn't work out. DNF. Watched the show. Loved the show. Listened to it on audio, and now this is my first time reading it physically all the way through. Let the tabs speak for themselves. Let the annotations speak for themselves. I'm just obsessed with Marianne and Connell's story, and it breaks my heart at the end every single time. I cried, I sobbed, Sarah sobbed, and we buddy read this, and I will link my vlog down below. But yes, I would reread this a million times over. Oh, Nightwolf I would rewrite, but also like look, I wish these, yeah. Look at these tabs, they match the cover so well. My manager gave me these tabs just randomly, she surprised me. This is the spin-off to the Black Sunshine duology. Y'all know Black Sunshine and The Blood is Love are like two of my favorite books of this year so far. I had really high hopes for this one. I did give this 4 stars, I believe, but it had too many people problems. Like I wanted more supernatural issues, you know, and more like fantastical plot like in Black Sunshine and Blood is Love. But this is from a different character's perspective, from a human character's perspective, so go figure. It did make me sob. This was in the same vlog as when I read Normal People, so I did a lot of crying in that vlog. Human family drama, yeah, wasn't about it. Wanted more plot from the last books. Like towards the end, more of the characters from the last books showed up, but yeah, it just didn't hit the same, you know? Cried 6 different times, the sex scenes were good, and the romance feels were super relatable. The romance made me super emotional. I mean, some of the family stuff too. The feels hit with this one. I forgot the objective of that fucking entire statement. I would rewrite this by putting more of the characters from the other books in there, focusing less on the human drama that I don't need from books that I want fantastical elements from. This cover, everything. That's why it's a face out on my shelves. Oh, that means I would burn Cultish? Oh no. I forgot what the 3rd book was. Fuck. 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 I take it back. I would rewrite Cultish. I would burn Nightwolf. Okay, I would burn Nightwolf because if I'm gonna reread any of the series, it would not be Nightwolf. It would be one of the other 2. Cultish I would rewrite. I don't know why I would rewrite it because it's nonfiction, but I guess there were some parts that like were just too dragged out in terms of like facts after facts after facts, you know? So maybe take those parts out and rewrite it that way, but I don't know. I wouldn't burn Cultish. I would honestly reread Cultish because I learned so much and I wanted to annotate it, but it was a library copy. Sorry about the confusion. 3 more. Ow, my Achilles heel. Dude, I keep grabbing 4. Okay. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Oh, I have that too. Where did I put that? Is it over there? No. Is it over there? Wait, oh yeah, it is over there. I reorganized my shelves recently because I got a new one. So everything, a lot of everything is not where it used to be, but I did film a bookshelf reorganization video, so that will be coming soon. It'll probably be after this because it's already May 16th and I'm just now filming my wrap up, so love that for me. Sun's also going down, so I'm sorry for the lighting change. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I got that from the library, so here you go. 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. All right, obviously gonna burn 9 Lives, like no questions asked. Worst book of the year by far. Get that out of the way. Fuck! So I gave Gallant 2 stars, I gave Delilah Green Doesn't Care 3 stars, but I really hated my time reading either of those books. I guess I would rather reread Gallant because I own it and it's V. Schwab and like it does have all these illustrations and stuff that I would look through. I'd probably like skim read if I ever reread it. I heard the audiobook's good, so maybe that I'll do, but yeah, I own this one. I don't own Delilah Green and I'm glad I don't because this was such a disappointment. I would rewrite this by making it shorter because it was fucking long. I read it for Sapphicathon last month and it just dragged. I don't understand the hype. I don't understand the hype. I don't know. There were like 2 steamy scenes. I did like this one storyline between, what is her fucking, is it Claire? Claire and her ex-husband. I liked their storyline because it was really kind of cute, honestly. And then there was this whole storyline about like the kid, and then there was like a camping trip situation that was kind of funny, but also like I just wasn't impressed by Delilah Green Doesn't Care, okay? And I think part of it is because Ashley Herring Blake is typically like a middle grade young adult author. Okay, I gotta check. Okay, it's 6:30. Holy fuck, I gotta speed this up a little bit. Next 3. Gyo by Junji Ito, Paint It All Red by S.T. Abbey, and These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. I don't have the physical copy of any of these books, but I would reread Gyo because Junji Ito is king. Absolutely love all his work. I just cannot stop reading him, and I will cry when I finish reading all of his manga. So this one was very disturbing. There were a lot of stories involving smell, and if y'all know me, I have a really sensitive nose and a sensitive sense of smell and a really good scent memory. So like, I don't know, I kind of identify with that now because I've been noticing more and more just how sensitive my nose is and how it affects like my mood sometimes and a lot of things. So yeah, that I could relate to because there was this girl with a really sensitive nose in that story and it did disgust me a lot. Really love that. Would reread. These Witches Don't Burn. I would burn. The irony. This was my other audiobook that I listened to. And Isabel Sterling also wrote The Coldest Touch, which is a sapphic vampire romance. This is a sapphic witchy romance, YA fantasy romance book. The Coldest Touch is better. This was just boring, honestly. I'm not gonna read the sequel. I don't care. The characters, it was very YA, and I'm just like not into that, especially when it comes to romance. YA fantasy, I can get behind. That's why I thought I would enjoy this, because especially witches, you know, that's like kind of my thing, witches and vampires. But yeah, this one just did not do it for me, and I would burn it. Speaking of burning, like it had one of my favorite tropes, you know, like big fires and shit. That part I dug, you know. The characters themselves were kind of annoying. The whole story just wasn't captivating. I don't know. I would burn. Okay, I gave that one 2 stars. Painted All Red, I gave 4 stars. This is the last book in the Mindfuck series, and I really liked how the story concluded. I really liked how these characters were so self-aware, how like fucked up they were together, how fucked up they were individually, and how they knew they were fucked up, and it was just so fucked up. It was great. I think I still did like the 4th one more than the 5th, but yeah, I think it came to a close in a very satisfying manner. The last 3, I really like when I don't have any wild cards at the end. Wild cards are fun because you could, you know, you're not restricted. It's just so satisfying to have an even number. Okay, Out of Love by Hazel Hayes. I'm gonna go grab it. Here she is. Out of Love by Hazel Hayes. Open Water. Andy Warhol, 365 takes. Fuck. Because just fuck. But this I would burn. I read this for my reading books from All the Boys I've Loved Before, and this was from A Boy I've Loved Before from like years and years ago. Andy Warhol is my favorite artist of all time, and I love learning about him, and it's just 365 pages of like facts and quotes and pictures of his art pieces and stuff. There are millions of books about Andy Warhol. I don't need this one. This could burn. This is gonna be hard because what the fuck? I love these. These were both 5 stars. I gave Andy Warhol 3 stars, I think. No, I gave Andy Warhol 4 stars because it was a very well-crafted book, but it is dated. It was published in like 2004, 7, 9, something really early, and like some of the language was very questionable. But anyway, I gave both of these 5 stars, so like, fuck. Okay, I think I would reread this one because if I rewrote it, like it's already so short. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's already so short that like rewriting it would just be like kind of insulting, you know? So I'll just say reread Open Water. Even though I would like take out some of the redundant parts, but like there were some parts in Out of Love where like I could have lived without, you know? Like I would make this a little bit shorter. It was slow at a couple parts, but also perfect on every page. Fuck. But this one I have like a full reason to. Oh my god, what is this lighting? I'm sorry, I'm almost done. We're gonna have to just deal with it. I apologize. Okay, I guess for all intents and purposes, because I have a solid answer for this one, I'll say rewrite this one because it had some redundant lines and I would just like make it less redundant, you know? And then this I would reread, but I would reread both of them in my heart of hearts, okay? So this one is basically like 500 Days of Summer. The movie was mentioned a couple times in this. It's a backwards timeline. I tabbed so much. This one made me cry as well. I cried a lot last month, wow, okay. But only from books, so that's great. A couple times from IRL things, but we're moving on. This had so many relatable fucking parts, like to a T. It was actually scary at times. It was very concerning. I was like, did I write this book? I also read this for the From All the Boys I've Loved Before blog. I'll link that down below. I just uploaded it. It starts from their breakup and then it ends when they first started like meeting up and stuff. It has a lot of content warnings, so please look them up before you go into this. There's self-harm, there's miscarriages, there's abuse, there's manipulation, there's gaslighting. Pretty sure there's cheating in this. This is like one of my most annotated books. Like writing wise, I was writing all over this. That was really difficult. Alright, if you made it to the end of this video, we're gonna put the sun emoji in the comments down below because this sun is fucking with this video. She clearly wants the spotlight, so we'll give it to her. Put the sun emoji in the comments down below. Oh, now there's this bird who wants to get in on this too. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all had a great day. Stay safe and stay positive always, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!